Alright. Hello YouTube, Stormblade here. And I don't know what to say. The amount of views on that build video have been crazy, at least for me, by my standards, compared to everything else on the channel. And you guys seem to really enjoy it. So, I'm here to make another build. Still on Titan. But instead of focusing on Consecration, we're focusing on... Oh, I should probably busy on. We're going to be focusing on the throwing hammer. I'll show you how it works. I decided to do preservation this time instead of Nightmare Containment, so that then I have a little bit more enemy density, and also I'm solo, so that then you guys can really see. Because if people are killing the enemies around me, it's a little hard to see how well this build is working. So let me just kill Savathun real quick. Alright. And this build is also pretty fun. It's not my favorite. The Consecration build is definitely my favorite. And if you're watching this without having seen that video, link to that will be in the description. We gotta actually get to the enemies before it really starts showing off. As you probably saw when I swapped to Izzy, I'm running Severance. That's kind of the main point of this build. And it's all about making not quite as big explosions as the Consecration build, but so making decent explosions and about more kind of consistency, I guess. I don't really know how to describe it. It's about making explosions with like finishers and everything. It's kind of the whole point of Severance. But then it's also making it a little bit better. For survivability, as always, we'll have, you know, sunspots and stuff. And the full build will be at the end of the video, for those of you that actually want to give this a try. I mean, like I said, you know, Consecration is more fun, but I still have fun with this one. This one's pretty entertaining. I don't know how well it is in endgame content. Haven't really gotten to test it. I kind of came up with it last night, so... haven't really tested it out to the full extent like I did with the Consecration build. But I'm sure it's not terrible. It has its survivability and shit, and you could probably do it with like Monte Carlo and shoulder charge if you really wanted to. So that then I should start when I was inside. Oh, I did get it, sweet. I'm blanking, I'm sorry. It's built so that then you can use it. You can probably use it up to master content, you know, like most things in this game, because of the roaring flames, and it's kind of centered around the bonk. So you'll be relatively safe. You'll get a force the regen when you pick up the when you pick up the hammer. You'll get your sunspots, stuff like that. And you'll get your explosions around you, so that kind of adds a little bit of a more safety barrier instead of just the straight, regeneration, you know? So you have anything in like the immediate area will die, or at least be weakened. So then you have a better chance of, you know, if you did charge in head first, like the Titan way, you have a lot better chance of coming out of it. And there's not really a way to make these explosions bigger, otherwise I would definitely have some aspect built into it, but it's more like, it's kind of a safer build. It's not quite as an aggressive build, I guess. I mean, you can be really aggressive with the hammer, so you could probably do... Honestly, I don't think it really matters, to be honest. I don't know if you can tell, but this was not scripted. I'm just kind of saying my thoughts about it. Trying to show it off. Though you'll definitely see it working a lot more when we get to the inside of the pyramid and the enemy density is a lot higher. And you'll start to see the explosions that I'm making a little more frequently. It's not an overly crazy build. If you have Severance and a couple of well mods, you'll be fine. So, as for armor, like I said, you need Severance. I mean, I just recommend high resilience because you will be going, you know, in enemy territory. Otherwise, you know, you're just capitalizing on the throwing hammer part of it. And at that point, if you're just gonna use the throwing hammer in sunspots, just use Loreley, or even just Heart of Inmost Light. And if you're gonna use Heart, at that point, just run fucking the Consecration build. I'm gonna click there. I missed my hammer. I missed my hammer. I think I killed by that thing. So, before we get to the inside, I guess I'll just be doing the build in the middle of the video because we'll have a free spot as we go inside. Unless I forget, which is possible because I'll get caught up in this. It'll be either in the middle or the end of the video. One or two. See, a bunch of enemies, throw, bam, they all die. Part of it was sunspot, part of it was the explosion, so. At the very least, if you do have groups of enemies like that, the chances of you killing the group of them is higher because you get the sunspot that does the damage, and then on top of that, you get that like chain explosion. So. It's definitely nice. Especially if you're doing, like, at least lower rates, or even, like, Vow. You could probably get away with it in Vow, if you're high enough. Run around Deep Stone Crypt, you can run around Last Wish, Garden. Doesn't really have a limit on what you can do with it. It's more or less just for ad clear. So, like, in the current Nightfall, fuck, what's the name of it? Red Spire. It'll be good for, like, there's a couple of points in it that have a shit ton of ads spawn when they jump out right before you go like up the drill to capture or to redo the thing. I'm trying to remember. Hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. Where all the dogs spawn shit. You can do it in that room before it, before you launch up where the unstop is and the GM. We get where there's the two like maybe Centurions? I can't remember the name of them. It might be Centurions. With the solar shields are down, and then like the shit ton of Cabal jump forward as soon as you get close after you miss the Threshers. Like the explosion, like look at the radius of that. It's a pretty decent sized explosion. Or maybe not explosion, I don't know. It probably says more specifics in thing, and then of course you can just throw in a solar nade for some groups, but this is about the hammer. I just forget about that I'm supposed to be using the hammer. I'm so used to the consecration build, just slamming everything. And I'm like, oh yeah, right, I had to redo this thing for that. I'm not really using my guns here. I already got full, alright. And more or less, since I have a little free time here, how the build works is you bonk something with the hammer, and then you get charged with light, and then the charge with light is for that mod that gives you the overshield, so that then when you do the finishers, you aren't just gonna get smacked. Though in GM you might still get smacked because everything in there hits like a truck. And then you also get healing from like Well of Life. So there's sunspots and Well of Life keeping you alive for that consistency, like the last build. And then of course you get cure from the hammer. And then you get the small explosions for the ad clear, and then explosions from the finishers. So it's like, whether you're using the hammer, or if you wanted to just go with the shoulder charge. I don't know if Consecration works with this, actually. Though, that does a pretty big radius anyway, so I think it'd be bigger than, this one do, so. You move, you bitch. Bro, they keep moving. Yeah, it's more or less the cycle of it. Doing double like hands-on so that then you get your super faster from all the bonk kills isn't a terrible idea. That's actually a really big raise. Holy shit. I see, just killing everything around me. It seems to be getting bigger. I'm not sure if there's like a builds up stacks like Feedback Fence does. But I feel like it's bigger than when I started it. Like when I started, it was about the range of the sunspot, and then now it's relatively big. Like double the radius. Which is interesting. But this build definitely gets a lot better once I get inside. I'm still gonna have to like rocket the bosses and shit at the end because they're so damn chunky. There's some limits to the bonk hammer. It's still really good though. I'll just be constantly like living off of the sunspots and the restoration and shit. I think I could get classy restoration in this too, like the last one. I can't remember how I have my mod set up. I'll look. I may have arced that too far. I did. That is unfortunate. Does it still move if I'm not near it? Like, see? That's massive. It wasn't doing that 5 minutes ago. By the way, if you have any ideas for builds, or like suggestions, or like, if you're like, hey, I want to build with this exotic or whatever, leave me a comment. I'm more than happy to try and make builds for you guys to use. Do you like the Solar Titan builds? Sweet, I'll keep going with that. If you want like, say an Arc Warlock build with like Crown or something for next season, sure. I have one in mind with like Battle Harmony that I might do that as my next video if you guys want. If this gets enough views and likes, then I'll definitely give that a try. Or let's see, what other builds can I make off the top of my head? Constant Invis. That's kind of, it's relatively easy if you just have like good stats. What else is there? I'm trying to think of what are fun builds. Oh, I have a stasis build that's really fun. If you guys want to see that, then let me know. A really fun, just super fun build. It's another favorite of mine. I found out some interactions between some things and like Diamond Lance, so. Yeah, definitely let me know what you guys want to see. Give me like, pick a class and either like an exotic or just a subclass. It'd be like Arc Hunter or Arc Warlock or Solar Warlock or Stasis Titan, whatever. Whatever makes the people happy, I'm willing to do. I love this rocket. I'm so happy I got it yesterday. Just boop everything into oblivion. Okay, I was like, please don't move. Right. Now that we're actually getting inside, I'm actually going to be able to show off a little more potency. So let's just drop down here. I probably should have picked up the extra rockets before I went down. Oh well. Ow. Alright. I kind of wish there was an auto run so that I could check like my shit. What other builds do I have? What else is there? There was a fun build that I had with Lion Rampant. No, not Lions. Dune Marchers. Because when you would throw your throwing hammer, throw this, the hammer itself would chain lightning. And this was like, I think last season. But they changed it so it only does it on the normal melee and like shoulder charges, which is unfortunate because I would run around Grasp. You just yeet fucking your solar hammer and it would chain lightning. It was like you were a mix between normal Thor and like a solar Thor. It was great. That was so fun. I ran that for so long. But I mean, I guess I have to thank Bungie for patching that because then it led me to experiment with these builds. And also for the last build, I remember there's other things that you can play with it. I can't remember if I mentioned it in the video, but you could also do like Skyburner's Oath or Jotun if you have the Catalyst, and Incandescent like Mida or Drang. There's other things just to get those Scorch procs. I fucking missed. God damn it. And then now it's like not doing anything. I guess that's the one thing. And then there, it had a big fucking radius. You might have to build it up. I'm not completely sure. Now that I'm looking at it and using it a little bit more up close, I thought it was just people were killing things. Or it was just like a visual glitch, but I don't know. It seems now like it's not exactly working properly, which is weird. So I'm not completely sure what the problem with it is. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Like, see, detonation there, or explosion, whatever. The AoE effect, and it did it there. Didn't do it there, or there. Like, I don't know. I guess that's one thing that might be wrong with it. Though that could definitely be like a Bungie coding, or I missed something on Severence Enclosure. Either way, there's definitely something. I don't know. It's being weird. Maybe it's not on powered melees anymore. Maybe it's just on finishers. Let's see this. I saw it on the ground, so maybe it is finishers. I don't know. One of the two. Either way, this build still works. Just throwing hammer has a little less use if you can't use it. Oh, that's a lot of troops. I do love Solar Titan though. Solar Titan is fun. Also, other than builds, what else do you guys want to see me play? You want to see me do like raids? You want to see me do other shooters? You know, I don't just have to do Destiny. I don't just play Destiny. I play other games. It's whatever you guys want to see. Because as you, the viewer, by giving me views and likes and shit, you tell me what you want to see. Is there really? Is there not more in the middle? Could have sworn there was more. I don't remember this being not so. I know this room's got density. That one had an explosion. That one didn't. It seems like it's like every third one. Yeah, that one did, or maybe every other. Maybe it's on majors. There's gotta be like something I'm missing. It's still fun though. It's still good. The only thing wrong with it is inconsistency, but I don't think anyone uses Severence Enclosure anymore, which might be why if there is like an inconsistency bug, no one's said anything about it, because nobody uses it. Ow. How about, let's not, I don't want to restart this, man. Oh, it doesn't have tracking. Oh, man, that's an issue. I don't know. These rockets hit hard. Holy fuck. That big one's coming in clutch. Oh, wait, there's three of them. I'm using the pop. You guys have seen the build enough. You know how it works. Plus, I want to get this done. Alright. swear to God, if I die here, I'm gonna lose it. Okay, sweet. Alright. Now, as promised, I will show the build. This build, you want high resilience because you're going to be going for finishers. High recovery is always nice. Decent strength in case you lose your throwing hammer. 70, cool. Alright. The main, part of this is Severence Enclosure. So powered melee blows unleash a damaging explosion, finishes and final blows against more powerful. Oh, okay. So this is probably why it's maybe inconsistent. It's because it's smaller on red bars. So it's not. I don't think it's actually inconsistent now. It's probably just a me thing, or yeah, like me thinking it was dumb. You want resist, of course, because you're gonna be getting up close. I mean, going with melee resist isn't a bad idea. I just have these for general. Reactive pulse. While charged with light, you take damage while surrounded by... When you take damage while surrounded by combatants, you emit a burst of damaging arc energy, consuming 1 stack of charged with light, and then also gain a powerful overshield while performing your finisher. So that then when you do the finishers, you are pretty damn beefy. That's the main component of this. I got Radiant Light for the additional strength. We do Melee Wall Maker, so that then it makes the wells for us to pick up off of the melee kills. Well of Life for survivability with after bonking something with a melee, and then Elemental Charge, so that then we become charged with light to feed into the arc that arc energy thing from the mod, and I'm blanking hardcore. Utility Kickstart, get the barricade up so that then when you hang out or when you need cover, doesn't really make a huge difference. For the most part, your mods don't matter. Like, just the end mods. Like, high resilience is nice, obviously, especially this season. Like, you don't need Revitalizing Blast because you're not really stunning champs. I mean, you could with, if you're doing, Nightfalls, but weapons don't really matter. The only thing you really need is Throwing Hammer, Soul Invictus for the Sunspots, Roaring Flames for the increase in damage, and Solar Grenades. Ember of Torches is always nice, just for, constantly keeping yourself radiant. You can play into that with, like, Ember of Benevolence, or you can do, what else is there? Where is it? You're not doing... Ember of Solace for the Radiant and Restoration effects, and then you can pair it with like Classy Restoration on your class item. I don't have it on, but you definitely could, so that then when you pop your barricade, if you don't have like a Sunspot or don't have anything dead for the cure, or your healing mod ran out, whatever, then you can pop a barricade, do that, and then is there anything else? There's nothing really else to it. You can use whatever, but this isn't playing to ignitions. I just have these on just for the stat bumps, so that then I have, double hundreds. But more or less that's it. It's nothing too crazy, but it's fun. It's definitely fun, especially when you start facing some of those yellow bars. And, ooh, that might be worth keeping. I have the wrong scale on, whatever. But yeah, more or less that's the build. Pretty simple, but it's fun to fuck around with, even if you're just doing, like, strikes, They're not, a ton of game-breaking builds, but the ones that are fun are always, nice to take a break from, instead of being like, oh, you gotta use this as meta, that's meta, whatever. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do like and subscribe. Definitely would help me out. Twitch will be in the description. That Consecration build will be in the description as well. And my Discord will be in the description if you want to join it and give me, like, suggestions for builds, or if you want to give ideas on what you think of, like, this one or whatever, or if you just want to suggest a game that you think that I should play. Whatever it is, definitely go check that stuff out in the description, and I will see you in the next video.